Hope that was running. Probably pretty popular around the turn of the last century. So I've got 157 miles to go, which just poking around is about 2.5 hours. So I'm having a good time. This is great. Purple house. Huh. House needing paint house. And there are Dollar Generals in all these little stores, or on all these little towns now. Dollar General stores. Just about every little town has one. It's pretty great actually, because they carry basic groceries that, you know, otherwise people would probably have to drive 20 or 30 miles to get to. It's Wellington. We're 26 miles from Wellington. That's probably the closest actual grocery store. And I don't think Wellington's a real huge town. I spent the night in Wellington last year once, I think. Yeah, I did. Coming back from Iowa, maybe? Oh, could have been Iowa or Indiana, maybe one of the two. So this is really relaxing for me, and this has been a good day so far, fuel mileage wise. I'm getting 18.9 miles to the gallon running up in here. I haven't even used a full quarter of a tank yet since I left today, including going out to the lake to drop off my trash before I headed north. So this is kind of making up for some of the shitty fuel days I've had a little bit. I'll take it. I'm pleased. And it's bizarre because this is the highest fuel mileage I've ever seen on this truck, and it just turned over 200,000 miles 78 miles ago. So go figure. Are they connected? I don't know. Probably in some way. Control burn out there on that place. Burning the weeds. Probably burning off their ditches up here. Looks like they actually have some irrigation ditches. Oh man, maybe not. Maybe those are just bar ditches. So different areas have different methods of watering their crops. And where I grew up in southwestern Colorado, we had a canal that supplied water out of the river, pulled it out for the farmers to use, and then the farmers would use siphons, metal pipes, to siphon the water out of irrigation ditches that were connected to the canal. So if they needed to water their field, they would go up and open the gate and fill the irrigation ditch, and then they plowed their rows so that when they put a siphon in the ditch, it ran the water over and down the row. Like they would plow toward the ditch, so they had a long line where the water could run down when they pulled it out of the ditch. So they would do that, and that's how they watered there. It was their form of watering. What they do nowadays, I don't know if they still do that in Colorado. They probably do it to a degree. But what they do now, like all over Oklahoma and Kansas, they have big watering pipes that are on wheels from a central hub, and it may be, like big enough to cover 40 or 80 acres, whatever. But it'll start in the center of the field basically and go around in a circle. So what you'll see when you look at the satellite pictures of this part of the country is you see all these round fields that all the green is confined within a circle. Well, that's the arc of where these watering arms go, and they have hoses that come down off of them, and then they spray water down onto the crop. So it's regional differences in how they go about doing that. And then in a lot of places, like parts of Kansas and Oklahoma too, Texas, Arkansas, they don't so much irrigate as they just get enough rain that, stuff gets enough water and it grows. So sometimes they supplement that, sometimes they don't. But up in here, this all looks like it's just rain irrigated to me, because I'm not seeing any irrigation pipe. I'm not really seeing any ditches. There's just bar ditches, so not really irrigation ditches. So this is all rain irrigated, I would say, right up in here. Basically in south central Kansas, about, I'm going to say 30 miles southwest of Wichita, maybe, in that general range. Chicaskia River. Chicaskia. It's as hard to say as Chickasha. Chicaskia River. So they got a pretty good river going through here. So this is all bottomland. That's why I'm not seeing any irrigation stuff, because this is all bottomland. This probably floods yearly or periodically anyway. So Highway 81 turned into Highway 49 back there, I think probably when we crossed into Kansas. I wasn't really paying that close of attention, but I'm going to say that's probably when it happened. So we're no longer on Highway 81, although we haven't left it, we just ran out the end of it. I love getting off the interstate and running these back roads. To me, this is what makes this job really fun. And if I wasn't ever in a big hurry and I didn't have to be rushing around all the time, which I'm going to try and do less of that. I'm going to try and arrange it to where I don't have to hurry so much. Sometimes I just do it. Nothing I can do about it, but when I don't have to, I'm going to savor this, because I'm not going to be able to do this forever. There's going to come a time when I either get too old to do it, or people quit buying trailers because the economy gets so bad that people don't have the extra money to spend doing it. Because right now, my livelihood relies on people buying trailers. That's the big deal. And if that dries up, so does my job. And then I may have to go back to doing something else. I don't know, working at Walmart or whatever. So I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts. Because I'm very well aware that it may not be, nothing is permanent. I mean, we're not permanent if you think about it. We talk about things being permanent. Well, very little in this world actually is permanent. Even stone breaks down over time, you know. So, aside from the earth itself and the land, really nothing is what I would call permanent. We're certainly not. We're very transient. We're only here for a little while. Even if we're here for what we consider as a good long life, it's not very long. It's not a very long time. You know, there are not very many people who live to be more than 100, and not very many people live to be even that close to 100. So, you know, you start getting into your 60s and 70s, you're on borrowed time. Of course, that can be said for any age because we don't know what the future holds for any of us, but still, generally speaking, if you've managed to survive that long, then you know, I don't know. And I come from a line of people that half of them died young and half of them lived to be 100 or close to 100. Or in some cases a little more than 100. So they're the ones that died in their 50s, you know, and then the ones that die in their 80s, 90s, and 100s. I hope I take after the latter, because I'd like to stick around quite a while longer. I'm still enjoying life pretty well. But you know, sometimes you just got to be thankful for what you get and not complain much. These are cotton fields right in here. I can see all the old cotton laying around from last year's crop. And then these green ones, that's winter wheat. There's a lot of this land in winter wheat, so they're running a lot of cattle in here probably. If I had to guess. Pretty sure I have been in here before. Come to think of it, I think I came back into Oklahoma this way once. A long time ago, after delivering something, must have been truck beds. I think I delivered a load of truck beds up into Wichita. This had to be back in like, I don't know, 2012, 2011, somewhere thereabouts. This old boy's got a wide load. Big old bunch of hay. But I'm pretty sure I came down this way back then. So I didn't feel like going back down I-35 that day. If I remember correctly, too, it was... Well, I'm not even sure what I delivered. It might have been truck beds or it might have been something else. It was truck beds. But on the way up, I hit a pretty good thunderstorm. And it was kind of interesting because it had to have been in probably the late summer, because it was hot when I crossed up into Kansas. And then the storm hit, and it was pretty windy, big windy storm. And then it cooled everything down. And it was so cold when I got to where I was delivering my trailers or whatever it was too. I had to put on an extra sweater. It had gone from hot to cold. I mean, to really, literally cold by comparison. So I remember that trip vaguely. I don't remember all the details of it, obviously, but I remember some of it. But I've never gone any farther than Wellington, I don't think, or maybe Wichita. I may have come out of the backside of Wichita that trip. But a lot of this north of here is going to be new to me too, so hopefully it'll be interesting. And as interesting as flat as a pancake Kansas can be, you know. It's not like we've got the Rocky Mountains here for scenery. We don't. We've just got Kansas wheat fields and Kansas cotton fields and fallow fields. So that's a big grain elevator over to our left up there. This is just being a super enjoyable trip. I'm really liking this. And now that we're back on daylight savings time and the days are longer and the light is around later, I don't have to be under any pressure, you know, trying to get to a place before dark to stay at either. So I've got 140 miles to go. So, not all that far. Ah, dang it. Some of these railroad crossings are really getting rough. Really super rough. Now I'm kind of hurt. Hope I didn't break anything. Dang. Okay, so we're here at Highway 160. Highway 160 is a main east to west artery across the south part of Kansas. Look at that, Harper. I'm a Harper. That's why I always notice it when I see that. And my Harpers were in this area actually, and my mom's family was in this area too. Way back when, before my mom and dad ever even knew each other. It's kind of funny that way. So I just turned east onto Highway 160, and we're going to run this over for a couple miles and then track north again. So this is what we're going to be doing for a while. We're going to be stair-stepping east and then north and east and then north until we get all the way around Wichita, Kansas. we'll probably get into the western fringes of Wichita going up through here. But I don't really care for Wichita, Kansas as a destination much. Like I say, I delivered something in there once, I think. And I can't even remember what it was. But I didn't hang around. Usually when I go through Wichita, I'm on the interstate heading north, and I don't like going through there on that because it turns into a pay road down here. So you have to pay for the privilege of driving through Wichita. Just as soon not. I don't think we actually go into Wellington going this route. I think Wellington is right over by I-35, if I remember correctly. I think I do. And Wellington is also about where the turnpike in Kansas starts. If you're heading north, or ends when you're heading south. Anson Road. It's a paved road, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not even worried about running county roads up here because everything's either paved or hard packed dirt, so. All these neat old silos, that's a neat one. Somebody got it. Fields and fields and fields of winter wheat. This is wheat that was planted last fall, and it's sat and wintered over. And a lot of people who have cattle plant this and turn their cows out on it to feed them. I'm not seeing cattle on this. I'm not seeing any fences on it either. So I think this is just going to be wheat, just wheat fields. Not so much cattle feed, but you know. So I've officially put 100,000 miles on this truck since I bought it. And I bought it a year and a half ago, roughly. I bought it in August of 2020. Or 2021. Yeah, it would have been 2021 because December was 1 year that I've been hauling for this outfit. They've got all these white markers sticking up. Those are marking ditches. They've got culverts going under the road at every set of those, I think. Every one I've seen so far, anyway. So I don't know if they got that marked so people out here mowing can tell where they're at. Could be. Because they do mow these bar ditches. County does, usually. On county roads, the county takes care of it. It's a pretty good road for just being a little back road. This is something you don't see me do very often because I'm usually in a big ass hurry. Or I've got a trailer on, and if I've got a trailer on, I usually don't get off on these little bitty roads like this. But today, since I don't have a trailer yet, is a perfect opportunity to do it. Big old house. Very nice. This is a county road. It doesn't have a number, so it's called North Anson Road. It's a divided highway. It's just a very, small divided highway with no number designator. I'm going to guess we're getting in kind of close to Wichita now because I'm seeing street numbers instead of county road numbers. So we might be closing in on the southwest corner of the Wichita, Kansas area. Maybe. Maybe. I'm getting 19 miles to the gallon. I can't believe this. It's basically a windless day. So that should tell you how much of my fuel consumption relies on whether there's wind or not. The other day, running over to Amarillo in the wind, I was getting 7 miles to the gallon. That's a considerable difference. That 12 miles to the gallon difference. We're getting a little bit of a tailwind now, according to those flags. So that's probably helping some too. I don't have a headwind anyway. I've got a tailwind. Now that I've got a wind at all, I didn't have any wind at all until just pretty recently. Nice house and barn combo there. Very nice. That place is paintable. That would make a good painting. So my brother Wes, like I mentioned earlier, he does videos, road videos, up in northwestern Colorado, and he's been showing a bunch of stuff up in the mountains, driving through extreme conditions in the snow, blizzards, ground blizzards, really crappy conditions. And his videos get a lot of views, and I kind of tease him and tell him it's, you know, just he's got better scenery than I do. But truth is, he's also really interesting to listen to. He's got his own way of thinking about the world, and I like listening to him talk. So, you know, he comes up with stuff. He thinks things through a lot. I don't think as earnestly about things as he does, but he's a real thinker. But if you like road videos, go check his out. Back Roads of Colorado, and I've got a link right on the top video on my homepage there. In the right hand corner of the video, it says Back Roads of Colorado. That'll take you right to his page. But he also has another YouTube page. He's an inventor, and he's always building things. And I mean, things from like making aluminum, pouring aluminum parts, you know, like melting the aluminum and casting aluminum parts to things, to making guitars. He's always got some kind of a project going, and it's really interesting to watch that stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, you can look at his other channel, and it's Old Town, OLDTOWN. Uh-oh, just missed my turn. I hate it when that happens. I get to thinking about something else and not paying attention. So there is that looks like an irrigation canal to me. It's a creek, but it looks more like an actual canal. A couple of geese out in the field. So I don't know if you saw my super short video that I put up yesterday. If you like geese, go look at it. It's really a short video. It's very quick. I was sitting and waiting to pick up that trailer Friday night that never materialized because it had some problems. But while I was sitting there waiting, these two Canada geese flew right at the truck. I was like, crap, are they going to hit the truck? But they flew right at me and then just flew off past me. But take a look at that. It was really neat looking the way they were just flying, you know, just happily flying along. Flying at low altitude. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was the best thing I got out of that trip. So, but even if I didn't get anything but that out of that trip up to Oklahoma City, I think that was worth it, because that was a very cool little, very quick little video. So check that out in my recent videos. Here's a little graveyard up here on the right. So there's another guy, I watch his videos. His channel is The Boring Channel, B-O-R-I-N-G. And he's a lawn care guy. And he does mowing just because he likes mowing. He does stuff like pro bono for people that are in a tight spot or whatever. But he's up in this part of Kansas somewhere. He may be over at Winfield, I'm not sure. He's not too far from here, but he's got a video out where he spends 2 days down in the Texas Panhandle cleaning up an old cemetery that's just been abandoned, and that was pretty neat. Pretty interesting, all the work he goes to. But I've gotten to where something soothing about watching his videos. I can sit and watch those all day long, you know, and I don't know what it is, but I like mowing too, so I can kind of relate to, you know, he looks like he's happy doing it. I'm happy doing it. That would have kind of been my job of choice if it wasn't so dirty, you know, and if I didn't have to, you know, like fight with the equipment and stuff, because I'm not very good at fixing stuff. We've seen that with the red truck. Yeah. But I really like watching his videos because I like seeing it all mowed. One of the things I really like is I'm driving along in certain places, like you'll see this a lot in Kentucky and some places in Oklahoma. People actually go out and they turn out their animals, and the animals eat the grass, so it trims it all down and it looks all neat and tidy. And other places they mow it down. But I like that look, and I kind of like that when I get our place mowed. I try to do it so that from the road, when you get up into the driveway, you can see it's all nice and mowed and even, and it's just tidy and neat looking. I just like that look. So that's something I enjoy seeing that. I don't know why. My eyes like it for some reason. Don't ask me, I don't get it. I don't know. It's just the way it is, I guess. I still have not heard a peep out of Bill. I'm starting to get a little concerned. I think I'm going to go ahead and call him. Hope he's not sleeping. Creepy robot voice. Anyway. Come on, there's a cell tower right there. There's no reason for you not to call. Gosh. Literally, I can see the cell towers. I can see 2, 3 of them. For some reason it's thinking we don't have phone service out here, I guess, which I can see. I can count 3 towers right up in front of me. Damn it. Come on. Try again. Evidently I need to restart my phone. I hate this phone sometimes. It'll do this, it'll quit calling out, and then I have to restart it, and then it'll do okay. It doesn't do this very often, so every time it does it, it takes me a while to figure out what it's doing. It's like, why won't it call? Well, because it's being a brat, that's why. Hawk on the fence post here. Hey, Hawk. Big old boy. He was pretty big. Here's one of these irrigation outfits I was telling you about. That'll swing around that field from the center point up here. It'll go in an arc shape around to the right and then back up till it's on this, pointed this way. And it'll water that whole field. Takes a while to restart, evidently. I don't restart it very often though, so it's probably my fault. I guess, maybe. I don't know. kind of a river. See if it's got a sign on this north side. I don't think it does any. It's just got a weight limit. Yeah, it's just a weight limit. So I have no idea what that river is. Or if it's a creek or a river. Looked big enough to be a river. Come on, phone. Wake the hell up already. I don't know how long this thing takes to restart. This is ridiculous. Come on. It's like it's frozen. It's not good. I kind of got to have the phone. That's weird. I guess it'll start up when it's damn well good and ready to. Jeez. It's always something. Always something. Always. No idea what town this is. We're fixing to find out. Clearwater. Clearwater, Kansas. Optimizing apps. Okay, whatever. I'm pretty sure I came. This is the way I came back from Wichita that once. This is looking familiar. Usually, if I've been through a place once, I can kind of remember. You know, if there's something, some landmarks or something for me to pick up on, I can usually tell. And I do actually remember this. Railroad track. I'm really going to slow down on these railroad tracks. Some of them are getting to be like tear up your truck rough. I'm not trusting any of them anymore. Alright, phone is ready. Good. Maybe it'll call now. He might have been trying to call me and couldn't get me because my phone was doing the I can't take a call routine. Yes, maybe so. Maybe not. Find out.